how are you? I hope you all are doing good. Today's my video is on a very important topic which all of you asked, that how to get PR after studies. Yes, I know I have a video on which I discuss about the planning, how to get PR and all that. In this video I'm gonna discuss a little bit furthermore, like how you can get PR in other options as well. And you can say that is the part 2. This is the part 2 of that one. So let's start. So friends, as I mentioned in my other video as well, that if you want to come to, not other video but many videos, I have mentioned that if you want to come to Canada as a student but your main motive is to get PR, then you have to be prepared before coming to Canada. I would suggest you one thing: please do not listen to anyone. Always refer to CIC website. If you have anything doubt about my things also, if I'm saying something and you feel that's not making sense, go to CIC website and check that. Like, CIC website is the Bible for Canadian immigration. So this is just a request. Please don't listen to anyone. Listen everyone, but if something doesn't make sense, go and check on the website. So the things I'm going to discuss, everything you can find on CIC website. It's very much written over there, but I'm going to share a few things which is not written anywhere, which are my personal experiences, that how I observed the things, how I got my PR. So friends, as I mentioned, if you want to come to Canada and your motive is to get PR, please calculate your points first. Canadian PR is a point-based system. Your PR will depend on the points, how many points you scored. So I would suggest you to become prepared before coming to Canada. Prepared and calculate your points. First of all, calculate your points, at how many points you are scoring now if you're planning to come to Canada as a student. Then you know that I'm scoring these points, this much points now. So now think what course you're gonna do in Canada. Say it is a PG diploma, master's, or whatever course. Then assume that this is my scenario after 2 years, how many points I will get after that time. If you have a fair idea that how many scores you're gonna have after your studies, it will make your life easier to choose the pathway to get your PR. Why I'm saying this? Because Canadian PR has mainly 4 components. How you get your marks, I mean your points. First of all is your education. And right now, if I will say, then express entry cutoff points, anything after 470 is kind of good. That's the general draw score right now. So your education has a major role in that what is your education. And generally the people who get PR after outside Canada, they do have masters. This is the general scenario, because then you score that much points. 470 is not a joke, my friends. It's really so many points. So generally if you have masters, then you should be good. Then second things come your English proficiency. English is like most common language, that's why I'm saying. Otherwise you can score points from French too, but not everyone speak French, but English speaking people are more than French speaking people. Then it comes to your English proficiency. So how many points you are scoring in your IELTS. Anything above 7 in all the modules is kind of good. If you can score more, that's even better for you, right? Then the third thing comes, that's your age. If you're under 30, then it's a kind of positive sign for you, because age till 30 you score more points in express entry. The fourth thing is your work experience. So if you want to come to Canada and you already have work experience in back home, anything 3+ or 3+ years is good kind of experience, because the maximum points you get for your foreign work experience for PR is 3. So if you have 3 years experience, that's good enough. If you get 5 or 6, that's good too, but you generally get maximum points for 3 years. So these are the 4 factors: your education, your English proficiency, your age, and your work experience. So you need to think that way, that in which criteria you are fitting. For example, say you are a person who has bachelor's degree in, say, back home India, then calculate your points as per your bachelor's degree, how many points you have now. Now say you want to come to Canada for masters, then calculate your points including your masters, and that will be within Canada. So for within Canada education, of course you get more points for masters, but you studied within Canada, then you get some extra point between 15 to 30 points depending upon the length of your education. I think for 2 years education you get 15 points extra for your PR file, and if your education is 3 or 3+ years, then you get 30 points. So these are the extra points. That's why I always say people that do master's degree, because then you get master's degree point plus master's degrees for 2 years, then you get 15 points extra. So as I was telling you, that if you are bachelor's, you have done bachelor's in India and you want to come to Canada for masters, calculate your points including masters. And if you see, hey, I will have like 470 or 475 or 480 points after having my education in Canada, then you're good to go. Then you can apply in express entry, and then you may get PR. Hopefully you will. So this is one scenario of checking your PR. So the number one way to get PR is through express entry if your points are enough. Okay, now say if after calculating your masters, your age is little bit higher, your points are not that enough, then I will suggest you to work on your IELTS. If you can get more points in IELTS, I have a video made for IELTS and CELPIP. CELPIP is an English proficiency test, that's a Canadian test. So I made a video, link is here, just go and check. I personally feel CELPIP is much easier than IELTS. So try to score more in IELTS so that you can get more points and you can get your PR in express entry. Okay, because if your age is like say 33 or 34, then your points will drop. So there's no way that you can reduce your age. I wish if we can do that, then definitely I would be the first person to decrease my age, but that's not practical. So I will suggest you to increase points for your English proficiency test. Okay, so if you can increase your points and you can apply your PR in express entry, good to go. You are good to go, man. Just choose your course, what course you want to have, and come and file your PR after getting your degree or diploma, whatever you want to have. Now this is scenario one. Say your points are not enough after having your maximum English proficiency course test, your studies in Canada, and your age is also high, still you are not fitting in express entry criteria, and you also have a work experience, still you're not able to do that. Then another way comes, this I'm talking about just after having your degree. Say still your points are not enough, then you can do one more thing. You can gain Canadian experience. So if you will get a skill job under skill job NOC category OA or B, then you will be a skilled worker. What is this? I have already made a video. Go here and check the link. What is a skill job? So if you can have an experience in NOC OA or B for continuously 1 year, then you would be eligible to file PR under Canadian Experience class, which is the class which was having regularly draws during this pandemic situation as well, because this is the PR application for the people who are within Canada, who have Canadian experience. So then you can gain Canadian experience for 1 year and then file your PR. That gives extra points towards your PR application. Okay, so number one, just after studies, if your points are not enough, then gain Canadian experience for 1 year and then file your PR. Hopefully your points will be enough. But say still your points are not enough, your age is little bit higher, or your English is not that great that you are not able to score, or any other reason, then the another thing come when we are in Canada, we work for our employer. Sometimes, I'm not saying this does happen always, but sometimes your employer wants to keep you as an employee and they want to give you LMIA. We generally call it SLIMA, but it's LMIA. So they can process this. This is a lengthy process. I wouldn't explain you here what is that. That's a kind of support your employers give, and that gives you, I believe, 50 points extra for your PR application, and then you can file your PR application. Okay, so this is option number third, but this is totally depends on your employer. Not everyone does get LMIA. I must say this, not everyone does get LMIA, because that is a lot more work from the employer side, and they have to do a whole paperwork. It's not easy, my friends. Employer really needs to do a lot of paperwork, and they do this if they really like you or they really need you. So don't keep this as a very casual option. This is not a casual option. People like it's difficult to get, but this is the option. Okay, say you're not fitting in category 1, 2 or 3. Not after education you are eligible, not after work experience of 1 year, not you're getting LMIA. Then the fourth option comes PNP, provincial nominal program. So every province in Canada does have PNP programs, and generally every I think mostly every province has some specific stream for the international students to get PNP. PNP is really a lengthy topic. I don't want to discuss much in this video. We'll make another video for you guys, but if I explain you in a plain language, then if you're working for someone, for some employer, they gives you some paperwork that, hey, for example, I'm working for someone, they will give me a letter that Poonam Rani is working for my firm from that long, and I need her services for continuation of my work. So that's a kind of letter they give, and that's for PNP. I'm in BC, I'm in Vancouver, so let's talk about BC PNP. Employers gives you a bunch of papers. They have that they call this as a PNP package. They give you all the papers. You can file that through a regulated consultant, or you can file it through by yourself as well. Choice is yours. First you apply your PNP, and once you get your nomination for the PNP, you get extra points towards PR that completely surpass your age, your work experience, because you get extra points for PNP, and your file automatically get eligible for PR. Then you file your PR, and roughly from not 6 months, now it's COVID thing, so roughly in 1 year after PNP you get your PR. So these are 4 things, my friends, 4 ways how you can get PR after studies in Canada. The first one, after studies and gaining Canadian experience, are the fastest ways to get PR. LMIA and PNP is little lengthier kind thing, and totally depends on your employer. That's not in your hand. Your employer has to be involved in that. If you will ask me, most of you know that I'm married. I also have a kid of 8 years old. So when you're married, your points little bit get dropped. You get some extra points for your spouse, but little bit your points are lower than the single people. So I was married at that time too, and I applied my PR under Canadian experience class. I came here for 2 years program, then I worked for 1 year, and then I filed my PR under Canadian experience class. And thanks to God, all of us, 3 of us, are PR now, Canadian permanent resident. We got our PR in January 2020, and I came as a student here in September 2016. So that's all about, my friends. If you have any question or query, feel free to ask me. But one thing I want to tell you, I'm not a regulated consultant, so I advise you, please do not share any of your personal documents with me. I can only advise you for my personal experiences which I have over here. I cannot suggest you, hey, share me your refusal letter, I will help you on that. No, I'm not authorized to do that in Canada. We have every profession over here as a regulated profession. So immigration consultants are also regulated, also licensed in Canada. International students advisor are also licensed in Canada. It's not like back home anybody can give any advice. I can only share my personal experiences what I have, and I started this YouTube channel to share my personal experience to help all of you whatever I've been through, so that you can get a kind of idea. Okay friends, thank you so much. If you still have some question, feel free to ask me. Thank you so much. Bye.